Book reading continued. In this new chapter of the book, we are going to see that there are certain things that are actually very strange, and sometimes we do not understand them at that particular moment. Because I think there are many moments in our lives when we get totally absorbed in our environment. And I think the people who read books, it is written that there are great storytellers around the world. And if you actually notice such kind of people who are very great storytellers, storyteller does not mean that they make up stuff by themselves. A storyteller is someone who is actually very brave enough to act, to convey something that has been always in his or her head. Because I think that expression is very important. Expressing expressing something is very important in any relationship, in any channel of life. Like, for example, if you are working as a businessman, or you are working in a corporate culture, or you are simply staying at home wife, or after retirement person, whoever you may be, you will notice that communication of your feelings and expectations is actually very important. Now, I think that the people who actually judge such kind of people who actually express themselves a lot is not right, because such kind of people are actually those who are expressing what they actually feel, and they might convey something that is not convenient or relevant for the other people around them. Like, for example, if you see people who live in their mostly imagination, such kind of people do not fit in a society that works in reality alone. There are a lot of scientists, there are a lot of people who have passed away, and they conveyed a lot of stuff through their imagination alone. And surprisingly, our academia is full of that stuff. There are lots of Muslim scientists. There are lots of people who around the world who have discovered great stuff, but their recognition was not that great. Now, it does not mean that this is actually my interpretation of this paragraph written in the book, that there are great storytellers and there are great people who have sometimes great expectations from life, but sometimes they do not get rewarded. No, I think that's not right, because a person's worth or value does not come under this category of being measured by the people. Now, there is a great incident that I would like to narrate here. If you are a scientist and you think you have discovered something great, would you like to just believe that you have created something great, and then you would like to share it with the people for your self recognition? Or you will just have to, or you would just like to introduce yourself as a very common person to the people, and then let people find it out there on their own? There are two methods, right? You actually discover something and then you wait for the people to recognize your power through is very simple recognition procedure that might take very long. But then there are certain instances where people are like, okay, we have discovered this, and why not people are recognizing us instantly? They might not have bad intentions regarding this. They just want to convey their message very peacefully and very thoroughly, but in a very fast way. Then there are certain scientists that do not focus on being recognized very soon. They say that as soon as you actually enter in that step of recognition, everything changes. Everything changes for you because people will not know that you are a very common man or a common person, whoever you may be. You may be a very highly or goal oriented girl, or you may be highly goal oriented person. Anyone, I think this is irrespective of gender, and this is irrespective talent is irrespective of gender, and talent is irrespective of your age. It can reside in anyone, and this concept is so beautiful that Lord Almighty Allah has actually placed so much talent in people, but they have to find that, they have to explore that. It is true that some certain things have been placed in the nature of human beings. It is not like in their blood, it is like in their actions, in their spirits. Spirit is not a part of our physical body, it is actually a part of our spiritual realm. And spiritual realm means that it is in our body, but it does not define itself with the physical entities. It is like if someone says that you are light as a feather, then that actually means that your spirit is actually light as a feather, even lighter than that. It is not visible at all. But the emotions, the spiritual emotions, the spiritual health of a spirit actually defines that. And I think that there are certain people in our society that actually love to write books, but they do not realize that what will be the consequences if they are writing a certain book without any kind of good intentions. Like if you just want to bring other people down, then it just simply focuses on the fact that you are not on the path of greatness, you're not on the path of virtue, you're not on the path of seeking the good nature that was actually meant to be yours if you actually have chosen that great path of not letting other people down. Like if you are just writing a certain book and you hate a person and you are just jotting it down and making it in form of paragraphs or whatever that may be, and you just want to tell other people that ABC person did this to me, did that to me, and he was or she was very bad to me, then it just means that you just want to convey your pain to the people in a way that actually nobody heard from you. And if you are a Muslim, you should know that Allah always listens. So this kind of stuff actually spreads hatred, because there are a lot of methods in the spiritual realm that people actually use. They actually convey stuff without jotting down, because the spiritual world is actually very great. It is actually not dependent on these kind of tools that you need a book to convey your message. It is actually highly independent of everything. You have that power when you are in that spiritual realm. Actually, Muslims do believe this. And you may ask any random Muslim person, he or she will tell you that spirits do visit, they do come in your dreams, they do tell you everything. And I think that this method is actually the very best, because if you are just writing down something about a person that was your enemy, which was a very rightful enemy, but if you just want to tell other people that he or she did that to me by let's say abusing me or killing me, that is actually very shallow and very low, because it will only spread hatred. It will spread hatred among generations. Like if you see that if your father or mother hates your any other relative from the other side, so if you just don't, if they jot that down, if joting stuff of hatred actually makes stuffs good, then it would have stayed as a very great measure, or it would have been a very great tool to continue. But is like it is found that it is not it is not that good, because your children will only see that okay, this or that book is actually available. Like the children will actually see that okay, someone from our family member has actually written this kind of stuff, so it means there is something hugely problem with that person. I think this should be stopped.